the email marketing is divided into two types. So you have automated emails, which also called sequences or flows. So basically, when they opted in, it's strongly recommended for you to send at least one email.
Hey, welcome back to another episode of the Growth and Scaling Podcast. Today, we have got one of those guys you love to hate, but he's the best at it. Andriy, will you tell us who you are and what you do?
Sure. Todd, first of all, thank you very much for having me here today. So my name is Andriy Boychuk. I'm a founder and SEO of Flow email marketing agency who works with e-commerce brands.
I love it. I love it. Tell us why do you think I might have said the guy you love to hate?
Because typically people say who not in our space, not in digital marketing or know very little about digital marketing. When they ask what you do, I said email marketing, and they're like, "Oh, you're that guy who's spamming us."
That's right. That's right. No, there's a lot of really funny things to say about email marketers, but having been one myself, I think you're awesome. So don't let anyone else tear you down, man.
Thank you.
So in your business, tell me a little bit about what you do specifically, because I know that email marketing can mean a lot of different things to people in the industry. Tell us what you actually do and who do you like to help with it?
Sure. So before I explain that, I just want to, there's one myth where sometimes people come to us and ask me, can you do cold outreach for me? And cold email is not part of email marketing. Cold email, it's outbound, it's a awareness stage, which is what we do not do. What we do, we work with existing data. We work with existing databases, or we work with people who visit your website. They are website visitor, and our job starts try to show them something, convince them to give us their email address. It can be offer, it can be ebook, it can be cheat sheet, it can be even this podcast where you kind of gate the information before they provide you emails. So this is what we do. We first convert that. We do this first conversion, web visitor into email subscriber, and then from email subscriber into a customer or a person who jump on a call with you. Depends on what your goal is.
I love it. And for those of you listening, if you're at a computer, go to flowium.com. I'm telling you, flow, like FLOWIUM.com, because it's one of the best examples of what he actually does. He is not the plumber with a leaky faucet. If you go to his website right now, you're going to have about 20 different ways to opt in to his list. So that's awesome.
And Todd, about that, so probably a year ago or so, that plumber was leaking faucet. And I said, hey, come on, guys and gals, let's ramp up our job, because we increase our website traffic for 1,500 a month to 13,000 a month. And I said, listen, we need to increase our conversion. So after do everything what you see on our website, and you might hate something, but sooner or later you will leave your email. So our conversion went 3x. So we went from 1x to 3x in a matter of 1 month. Was optimizing all our opt-ins.
It makes a difference. For those of you listening and you do not have a good way for someone to opt in on your website, you are missing the entire purpose of a website. If someone comes and you don't know how to get back in touch with them, that is your own fault. So Andriy, thank you for doing what you do. Who's your typical client? What do they look like?
So we like to work with somebody who sells physical goods online, like a merchant. Typically, we work with fashion and apparel, food and beverage, and beauty and cosmetics. Those are kind of our ideal clients. And somebody who has a revenue at least 2 million plus, but our ideal spot probably between 5 million to 20 million revenue.
That's a good spot to play in. Spot to play in. And so as you help them with this kind of opt-in sequencing, things like that, What are you looking for in your ideal client? Is it someone who's already got like some things on their site? Is it someone who's just naked without any kind of opt-in? Tell us who you like to look for.
Uh, do you mean from there, like what they have with their website and
Right, right.
emails? Okay.
Right, right. Who do you look at as like when you go to someone's website and you see that there's no opt-in or very little option, what goes through your mind? Like, is this who's your perfect client avatar?
Yeah, so we like to work with somebody who's like have traction, like they have traffic. People are coming to their website, but as you
Right.
said, they have so few options to opt in, or another option where I visit the website and there's like three different pop-ups overlapping and you don't know where to click and you're kind of closing everything and you're just exiting the website. So we like to work with somebody who have already established brands or they like have a momentum with growth. And when
That's
we opt
perfect.
in and start to see their emails, they either poorly designed, poorly
Yeah,
structured, or there's too many technical mistakes and they are not aware. Maybe it's
right,
nicely designed, but people are not receiving those emails, or they go into spam because
right,
they don't have the technical knowledge how to set it up correctly.
right. Yeah, there's nothing worse than having an email campaign that's all going to spam.
I
Which
agree.
happens, well, what percentage of the time do you think that happens on people's email sequences?
So I mean, like if you Google industry benchmark open rate, it's like if you have about 20-25% open rate, it's you're doing great job. So in
Yeah,
another word, close to 75% of emails go to either to promo folder or spam. So kind of only only 25% of people seeing your email. So this is kind of
right,
you need
right.
to fight hard to get those people's attention.
It's kind of heartbreaking, especially if these are people that just opted in on your website.
Correct, but there's a bunch of different strategies and tactics you can use. For one of them, let's say if they do not open your emails, you are able to create different pop-ups for them not to opt in, but maybe pop up and say, hey, we sent you email, but you didn't respond or something like that. So it would be customized only for those people who did not open the email. So you
Cool.
encourage them to go back to their email and search for your email and reply or do something.
That's pretty cool because they can't really, it doesn't make sense to opt them in again.
No. They already opted in, but they don't see your email for some reason.
Running a business, honestly, can leave a lot of founders and operators feeling lonely and isolated. If you have ever felt that way, trust me, I know what it feels like. And there is something you can do about it. You've heard a lot of our guests talk about the fact that being lonely and isolated is one of their biggest challenges in trying to run and scale their business. captainscouncil.com. Go to captainscouncil.com right now and see what we're doing to resolve this problem. We want you to be a strong operator who has solutions and has a way to get around the challenges you're currently facing. What most founders don't understand is that you're not alone. The challenges that you're facing, likely somebody else has already overcome, and they can give you the feedback you need to overcome them. Who better than your peers, other founders, other operators who are joining with you in a small group setting, a global community setting, as well as at our in-person events to guide you through these challenges that you're facing right now. Don't give up, keep on pushing, but do it with some good advice from your peers. Go check it out at captainscouncil.com and let me know what you think about the offering. We can't wait to see you there. Love it. I love it. So as you've been able to help other people grow, what's typical? I mean, you talked about your own site getting a 3x in conversions. What's typical when you see people who are barely building a list to what? What's typical?
So what we're looking for in terms of conversion from wild visitor to email subscriber, our ideal is like about 4%. So out of
Cool.
100 visitors, out of 100 people, yeah, 4 people should
Yeah.
opt in. I know it sounds low, but this is kind of industry benchmark. There are
Right.
some clients we work with get up to like 20% opt-in, but they're extremely niche website. One of the guys sell gas masks for a couple in case
Oh,
something
jeez.
really bad happened in the world, something like what just
Yeah.
happened in New York City with the
Right.
wildfire from Canada. His website gets like a lot of traffic and a lot of conversions. But if you're selling like clothes and you're very you have a lot of SKUs, your opt-in rate would be much lower than some unique very niche websites.
Sure.
So
Sure.
but between 2 to 4%, it's probably the average conversion
That
rate.
is awesome. I mean, that is good. So you got to have a good opt in. You got to have an easy way for them to opt in. And then once they've opted in,
Yeah,
it's
you
not
have.
all done.
No. So there's two types of the email marketing is divided into two types. So you have automated emails, which also called sequences or flows. So
Right.
basically, when they opted in, it's strongly recommended for you to send at least one email as a
Right.
welcome, saying, "Hey, welcome to my brand." When we
Right.
work on a welcome strategies, we have up to like 15 or 20 emails in that sequence. But if you have limited resources, at least one text-based email saying,
Sure.
"Hey, welcome to our brand." And also you have campaigns which are or broadcasts or newsletters, which is are manual, and we strongly recommend to send at least once a month. But if
Right.
resources allowed, send it weekly.
Awesome. Now, this website is not a marketing. I mean, this podcast is not a marketing podcast, but I, for one, have a lot of interest in what you do because of my background. But it applies to every business. And so,
Of course,
as you help businesses implement these strategies, obviously they start to see some growth in their business. But let's take a step back because
sure.
I don't want to spend all the time talking about what you do. Let's talk about what you've done. What in your business you've been operating on your own for how many years now?
So since 2017, like March 2017.
Congrats. Okay. So
Thank you.
you're in this about 6 years now, over 6 years. Tell us about your growth. What's been happening with your business as you started to implement these strategies with clients?
Sure. So in 2017, I created company because you need to have a company for tax purposes, and I didn't
Right.
know much better how to do it. So I was kind of company of one. Sorry, I was company of one, and
Right.
sometimes I call it accidental business. And why is that? Because I didn't plan to build what I build now. Um, so
That's funny.
when I started, I was servicing all kind of clients like lawyers, B2B, dentists, e-commerce, all kind of. I was doing email marketing for everybody, and sometimes
Right.
even doing some Facebook help, website development, and stuff like that. But then I got my first big e-commerce client. I saw how easy to prove your value to the client, because with e-commerce, if you sell, let's say,
Yeah.
cups or socks or like socks, for example, you send email and people purchase like socks from that email, and you can see conversion right away. So it's
Right.
easier for client to justify what they pay you. So
Right.
when I had that realization, I start focusing my attention on one industry or like one kind of vertical, e-commerce.
Yeah.
And then I become popular because clients refer me to their friends, to other peers in the industry, and I was extremely overwhelmed, and I start to hire
I
people
bet.
just as a kind of as a help to me. But
Right.
my entire business was like as you like planets like planet system. Like I was a sun, and everybody was like turning around me, so I couldn't take day off. I couldn't leave on
Right.
weekends. I could
Right.
not be sick because I was always the answer to any problem.
Ah, that's the worst feeling in the world.
So then at the same time, I was not profitable. Like everything was
Yeah.
breaking even, which was
Yeah.
more stress. You're like working almost 24 hours a
That
day,
makes it
and you
worse.
Yeah, and you
And
don't
then your
make any
wife
money.
starts to ask you, what are you doing all day?
Yeah. So you were talking about like shout out. So the first guy, it was leap of faith, and I actually I remember this because I had like my last credit card which was not used, and it was $10,000, and he charged me so something like he said his fee was 7,500. I'm like, come on, it's my almost lost money, but it was leap of faith. So I hired this business consultant, and
Yeah.
he turned my business almost in a matter of like 1 month. So
Wow.
so I was project based only. So I like I know you come to me, you said I need email marketing. So I set up a proposal for you, and I said, Todd, this is what I recommend, and this is how much I will
Yeah.
charge, which is perfect because you know what to expect
Right.
and how much you will pay.
Right.
But sometimes, sorry, in most cases, project took longer than I expected. I
Right.
spent more time, so it become more less profitable. So this guy said, listen, you're building a bicycle for your clients, but you are not teaching them how to ride it. So he said, you should stay with those clients longer, and you should charge retainer. And this is when I
Yeah.
learned about retainer. And after first months, I got, I believe, 3 or 4 clients which paid way over his fee, what the business consultant charged me.
Right.
And then since September to December, I got so much work I still could not handle, but the beauty of that, I was profitable. Like I had cash.
Awesome. Awesome.
And then next month in January, I'm like sick and tired that because I cannot handle, I was handling like 24 clients myself. So I
Right.
came to my competitor and say, listen, I like what you do. Let me pay you money. Teach me how you manage people, how you hire people, how you build teams. And the guy was open enough. So he charged me a fee, a decent amount of money, but
Yeah.
I glad that he did. And for three
That's
months,
awesome.
he taught me everything how he does in terms of hiring funnel, recruitment. Because in my head, HR was responsible for everything. I didn't know that you have to do marketing for talents. You need to
Yeah.
do like recruitment of talents, then the
Yeah.
HR part. And I didn't know all that. So he taught me, and we restructure our company where now I was a kind of true CEO. Underneath,
Right.
I have like account manager who was handling the projects and so forth. And since then, it was natural growth. Like yes, we
Awesome.
hustling every day, but it's totally different. Less
So now you
stress.
got a real company, you got
Yeah.
real employees, you got people managing your employees, right? It's a
Yes.
full
Yes.
blown organization. And I saw on your website earlier that you're actually hiring right now.
Yes, we hiring nonstop. We do annual executive meeting where we get together physically because we're a remote company, but we get
Right.
physically people from like 5 or 6 different countries coming to one city, and we meeting for 1 week, and we strategizing the next year. And
I love
even
it.
right now, we know how much we need to hire. We know prediction of our churn of our
Right.
employees
Right.
due to any reasons. And so we're
I
doing a
love it.
lot of things right now strategically.
So in 6 years, you went from solo to now you're operating out of 4 countries and you have employees in each one of those. And you know your churn, you know your burn, you know who's going to work, you know what positions and roles you need to hire. This sounds pretty legit.
Thank you. And just to correct, like I don't think we are more than so there's currently we have like 75 employees plus, so we are in
Nice.
more than 4 countries. Not sure
Nice.
how many, but
You know, I had someone today tell me that that only 1.6% of all companies formed will have more than 100 employees. That means that you're getting close to being in the top 1.6% of all
thank you.
active businesses in the market in the US.
Nice. Thank you. Thank you. I
That's pretty
didn't know that.
cool.
Yeah,
No,
it
that's
is.
very, very awesome. Most companies sit in that sub 50 range. In fact, I would say even sub 30 range, because that's where a manager really learns that up to 30 employees, you're still kind of all over the place trying to manage everything. But once you get past 30, you kind of hit that stride where you're like, okay, I now have someone managing this team, this team, this team. All I got to do is manage these 5 people, right?
Yes.
And that's, I'm guessing, where you're at right now.
Yes. I mean, like, listen, it's a business and I'm active in the business. Sometimes I'm doing stuff that I'm like stopping myself. I'm like, why do I do this? There's people who can do it for me. But
Right.
but in general, yes, I agree with you. This is the
That's
position.
awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, congratulations. For those of you listening, you've got to listen to this advice. Like, this has been, Andriy is living what you should be doing right now. Learn how to build the organization. If you don't know how, find someone that does, pay him to help you figure it out, and just go with it. I think your story is amazing, Andriy.
So what I learned from that experience moving forward, does not apply only to the business, but also to everything that we do. So
Right.
I had problem with staying consistent going to gym. So now I'm like very consistent because I have a coach and like he keeps me accountable. Then I have
Right.
a psychoanalyst that I'm like trying to kind of stay healthy mentally as well, like psychologically. Then I have a nutritionist to know how to eat properly. So it's not only for
Right.
you need coaches. You need coaches, you need
Right.
mentors, somebody to guide you. It costs money, of course, but
Right.
you will achieve result much faster than on your own because information is available right now on YouTube. You
Right.
can watch or podcast. You can learn everything in the world.
Anything. Yeah. But the podcast isn't going to keep you accountable.
No, I mean, but it might you might hear today something that maybe move the needle or like
Totally.
you will take the next step, but it will not keep
Totally.
you motivated to like forever.
I love it. I love it. I agree with you 100%. And I think that what you're doing and how you're doing it is amazing.
Thank
I
you.
would love to know, though, as you've been able to grow and scale to this point, tell us about the biggest challenges you've had to face. What are the biggest surprises that you've hit along the way that you're like, ah, crap, I would have rather not had that happen again?
Uh, so it's probably the biggest challenges or kind of problems where key employees or key people are leaving.
I like that.
So
Yeah.
we had one person who was kind of very crucial for our business, and unexpectedly she left. I
Yeah.
mean, she gave us notice. It was 2 week notice.
Right.
Everything was properly. She did it like the nice way, but we did
But
not
still,
expect. Yeah, and it was a shock for us. So we have to
yeah.
and it happened a few times in the past year. Yeah, yeah, I believe it was last year, but this year we are kind of much better prepared. Everybody,
Yeah.
even myself, I have a kind of plan in case something bad happen. Like I don't know, like
Awesome.
I will be stuck somewhere or maybe I die. But we
Exactly.
have
It
now.
happens.
Yeah, I mean it's we are human beings. It's typical like.
Right.
And so we have a processes for anybody like succession plan.
I love it. I love it. Well, for those listening, again, another set of great advice. You have to plan for all case scenarios. You have to know what roles you've got people doing, know how to replace them, know how to replace yourself. Like it it blows my mind how many people don't have this dialed in and they go and hire people, some of them really expensive, and they don't have very clear expectations of exactly they want that role or that person to fulfill. Is that something you've run into before in your business?
Uh, I was, I don't know, like I would say, like I'm lucky with people.
Good.
Um, like every time I don't know, maybe it's our process, maybe I'm luck, but it's we have a good process of like fulfilling good talents, like finding and putting talents in the right place.
That's awesome. Well, you're a process guy. I mean, that's what you do. You
Yeah.
set up processes for sequences. That's what you do. This is like in your brain. This is how you think. So I'm not surprised about that at all, actually.
Well, if I can give one more advice that just popped in my head, Because it's a small thing, but it might be very impactful for you in terms of protecting yourself. After you start growing, either socially presenting that you grow or like really organically growing, there will be a lot of like scammers start using your name, presenting you on their like on your behalf. So there's a lot of scenarios, like every maybe week somebody using my email asking for money, my employees for money or help.
You're kidding
through
me.
text. No, it's real. So during our onboarding we have a video where I share my cell phone number and say, this is my cell, save it. If it's not coming from my cell, please disregard.
It's not
And
coming
also
from
I
me.
said, yeah, if it's not my real email, but even if it's my real email asking you for money, double check via Slack if it's me, because I will not ask you for money. I will not ask you for $50 help, So, but they like security, like data, cybersecurity is very important nowadays. So people will pretend being you. So just protect yourself. Create a short video for your new hires.
Good advice. Good advice. I love this stuff. This has been a great conversation, Andriy. I am so proud of you for your growth that you've experienced, and I wish you the best moving forward.
Thank you, Todd.
Thank you so much. We're going to post all of your information below. I already said go to the website. I really mean it. Like flowium.com is a great place to get ideas and also to engage with him and utilize their brains to do what you don't have the time to figure out, because putting email sequences and opt-in sequences together is a lot harder than it looks from the outside. Talk to some experts, help them, let them help you. Flowium's a great resource for this. And I wish you the best in all your success moving forward.
Thank you, Todd. Thank you for having me.
Awesome. Awesome guy. I love people like this who are in our country, developing awesome companies, coming from places where it's harder to do what he's been able to do here. And he's literally growing and scaling at a rapid pace. I love these kind of stories. Talk about amazing people. This podcast is full of them. Listen to other episodes if you haven't already. We have got a whole load of fantastic business owners and operators who are taking their business to the next level. If you haven't already done so, check out our community, captainscouncil.com. This is where you get to come and join in with peers who are also founders and operators of companies who are looking for people that can relate to them and their problems. Not everyone can do it. Consultants can only do so much. But your peers who are currently actively running a business alongside you know and understand the political climate, the marketing climate, the financial climate, and they're able to give you the advice that they're doing right now to succeed while you may be struggling with something in yours. So check out the captainscouncil.com, captainscouncil.com, and we will see you there. And enjoy the next episode of the Growth and Scaling Podcast. We hope you loved what we shared with you today.